Hello, I'm Shieldwall100 and welcome back to my games room for another Batman Miniatures game report. Today's game is going to focus on a conflict in between the Bat family and the Penguin. Looking forward to this. You've got a crew with more numbers versus a crew with less numbers. So should make for an interesting juxtaposition. Also using some beta cards which have been uploaded quite a while ago by Night Models. Really interesting stuff, but only for a couple of the specifically named characters we're using today, and we'll see who they are in just a moment when I go through the crews. And the Penguin's crew off to start with, as you can see, the main man on board his duck to give himself a little bit more toughness against the horrors of the Bat family. You can see the usual gaggle of henchmen there. We've got the Imperceptible Man and Mr. Combustible, the two fairly oddball ones, but also a couple of bikers and the chap with the assault rifle to really out the firepower, keep the vigilantes on their toes. But of course you can also see a new model for my channel. I haven't used Clayface before. Basil Carlo, the original himself, got some new rules for him and some new objective cards which I'm looking forward to giving a go. And I've actually quite liked the look of this model for quite some time. I just never really saw him being too useful, but they have, like I said, updated his rules. He's got some suspect marker play now, really interesting to use now, in addition to his usual very tough, quite slow beta lifestyle. But that's this crew. Lots of objective cards about us, having more suspects out than the opponents, so they should find that quite simple to achieve. Just can they weather the storms of batarangs and fists? And the Bat family in a familiar configuration to what we've seen before on this channel. I do like this little four-man team of Bat family. You got the main man himself, the big Batman model. He gets a second lease of life with his new updated rules. The Nightwing is just a great model to have in your crew. He's also got a brand new objective card which I'm looking forward to using. It plays at the beginning of the game and lasts throughout. Damian Wayne is a pain in the backside as ever, and Alfred will be ready with some intel support from the Batcave with his cucumber sandwiches at the ready. Lots. I do like this the Bat family crew. I don't know if they're really tournament amazingly good or not, because they're only a four-man crew, so it does kind of limit your scoring potential, but I really like them, and I think they punch well above their weight in my opinion. But we'll see, won't we? Right, well, the game is set up in full now and deployment is finished. Right, so what did we start with? Well, deployment. Let's see. We went with table edges for the deployment zones, 8 inches on, and the free agents and bosses had to be deployed first so as to get an idea as to who goes where. Right, let's see. The Penguin crew mostly clustered around their main man himself in the middle on his duck, and the sewer marker just here, so for ease of use. The assault rifle chap is up here for fire support. He does have, from purchasable equipment from this Penguin model, the silencer, which is really useful against vigilantes because it stops them from dodging. We've got the Imperceptible Man down here. He's just going to run interference from this side of the board. He has a radio from purchased equipment, and Clayface himself infiltrated into the playground, so he's gone forwards an extra 8 inches. This new version of Clayface has 3 special suspect markers to put out. We got one here with his cute face, and the other one his back here, and he places them within 8 inches of himself. They're suspect markers for all intents and purposes for the Penguin crew. He can also interact with them and he can place them out as he goes as well if there's less than 3 on the board. They're really cool. He can basically teleport between them, he regenerates from them, all sorts of things which we may or may not see during the course of this game. Okay, right, on to the Bat family. Well, Nightwing himself is not present yet. He is a shadowed nightmare. He will appear as and when a suspect marker is placed by the Penguin crew, and he chooses to reveal himself. But we've got the 2 remaining guys here. Batman and Robin are at the back of the board, just ready to spring into action and comfortable in the shadows that they are. And Alfred, in his intel support role, has he's got the undercover rule as well, because he has a reconnaissance piece of equipment, so he's a bit further forward. He's quite safe. He can't be targeted by attacks because, like I keep saying, he has the intel support rule, so he's quite safe. Right, that's it for deployment. We're going to get into round number 1 and start this shindig going. Okay, we've completed the take the lead and raise the plan phases for round number 1, and yeah, plenty of things to recount because both sides coming out swinging with objective cards. In phase 1, the Batman crew won the initiative and also played Die Hard, a card we've seen before, one of the generic cards. Don't forget this is the Bat family, so if I say Batman crew, I don't know if I have so far, but if I do in the future, just ignore me. They've chosen as the target for this card to be Alfred, because he's not the boss, so he certainly counts, and yeah, he'll be 2 points if he stays on the board, which he most likely will. Let's not forget though, well, you will probably, some of you might not know that Nightwing has his own card, Great Performance, and a huge 4-pointer, very few of those around, and it starts the game played already. It always starts out, and it's a bad printout for me, but I don't want to see if I can bring it into focus. There it is if you want to pause the game, pause the video, sorry. Basically what it means is he has to, during the course of the game, he has to remove a model as, let's see, he has to remove a suspect. No, place a suspect within 4 inches of an enemy model. He has to inflict a KO, and he has to remain alive and un-KO'd throughout the course of the game. Okay, so yeah, you go. So there you go. So place a suspect within 4 inches of an enemy model and inflict a KO. Okay, and stay alive. Basically, if he does that and survives in the game, that's 4 extra points for the Bat family because he's put on a great performance, as befitting his status, shall we say. Right, in the raise the plan phase, the Penguin crew swung back and got 2 cards of their own out. They got Territory Fight out. We've seen that before, one of their standard cards. Have models in areas of the board by the end of the turn. And Smuggled Goods as well. And I'm going to have to move an annoying cat in just a minute. There's the card, it's for you, and they need to transport the smuggled goods across closer. Come on, there you go. Closer to their side of the board. There are the smuggled goods. It will move faster the more business counters the Penguin crew can accrue by the end of the turn. Okay, they need to get models to manipulate them. Thankfully, there's a Clayface nearby. Maybe that will help. Right, I think that concludes the phase, the plan phase. Oh, apart from telling you who gets Audacity, that's quite important. Well, for the Bat family, that's everyone. There's 4 models and 4 Audacity counters, so they all get one. For the Penguin crew, we've got one with Clayface, of course, and one for each of the 3 the henchmen around Penguin here. A bit suspect, not giving one to the boss, but I don't think Penguin really needs it. He's got Handyman, and he's not really going to be doing too much at this range of the game, in my hopes. Let's see, though. Okay, shall I regret that? We'll see, won't we? Okay, let's get on with actually moving some models now. The Bat family actually won the initiative quite comfortably, but like I said, but they elected to use one of their many passes to try and tease some movement out from the Penguin crew. The Penguin actually himself went first, seizing the initiative, shall we say. He moved up to the Clayface suspect marker and revealed it himself using his handyman skill. Why would you do that, you think? Well, because he's got the valuable commodities card, that's why, and he's going to use that to get himself some hot loot. So yes, this loot market is going on his character card, and if he holds on to that for the course of the game, it's 3 lovely points for the Penguin. We've also, because he's got Lord of Business, we get another loot counter which we put in contact with another suspect marker, and that's going to be this one over here, the only other real useful suspect marker handy for the Penguin crew. And that's him done. Oh yes, also because of one of his abilities, he gained 3 lovely business counters at the beginning of his move as well, so that'll help activate other models over the course of the turn. Right, that's that. Let's see if the Bat family are going to respond. Well, keeping the theme of the bosses going first, Batman activated next and swept into action. Hang on, I've just got to pick something up. Here we are. Right, first of all, as a resource, They Won't See Me Coming was played. It's a good old staple of this, of when you can take it. This deck, I suppose, means it gave him an additional freebie manipulate action. He used his grapple gun to move over into here, as you can see. Lovely speed boost there. He manipulated with his tactical action the smuggled goods 4 inches back towards the Penguin's base, well, towards away from the Penguin's deployment zone, and then he used a free manipulation to pick up this Clayface suspect marker. Whoopsie, come back. Thank you very much. Over here, and doing so both weakens Clayface as a character a bit, and also allows him to play comb through everything as an objective for 2 lovely points. So there you go. They're off and running again. So there we go. He then ordered Robin here to stay in formation, allowing his sidekick to move 6 inches towards him. It's a one-off action per game. So that brings Robin back into inspiration range. So not such a disjointed first turn, right? Okay, back to the Penguin. Basil Carlo up next. Reckoned he actually really needed to for the purposes of what we want to achieve for the Penguin crew. He had Audacity, if you recall, and he was back here. He popped down a suspect marker first. He gets a free manipulate action to do just that if there's less than 3 on the board, so bringing the number of Clayface markers up to 2 out of 3. And he then activated. He used his movement to move up to here. He then manipulated the smuggled goods, which were just back here, 6 inches. The Penguin has 4 business counters now, so it's 2 plus 4 equals 6. He manipulated it back to this point over here. I now believe it's closer to the Penguin's deployment zone, but he couldn't really leave it over here next to the Boy Wonder, who might have manipulated it further back, and 3 points are 3 points, and at this early stage every point you get does help as much at the end of the game as much as any scored in the middle or end. So so definitely there's hopefully a 3-point swing there for the Penguin. We'll see though. He didn't have anything to do with his special action though, so that's pretty much him done. But I think that was worthwhile. He's a tough cookie. He can sit, I think, in the middle of the Bat family. And very quickly, I neglected to mention, actually, I did play an objective card during the Penguin's activation. It was profitable negotiation during Clayface's activation. He plays it now at score at the end. They looked through the Bat family's objective card hands and picked out I Work Best Alone as a card that the Bat family are not allowed to score by the end of the turn. If they don't score it, Penguin gets the 2 points. Obviously, if they do score it, Penguin doesn't. But funnily enough, the Bat family, because this is a card that could be played in the 3rd phase, you don't have to play them in your own activation though, so they did play it immediately on Alfred. And it will last as long as the game goes. This is one of the Birds of Prey action objective cards, so we've seen it. We have seen it before. It's now active on Alfred, who might just score it by the end of the turn, but statistically it's unlikely. So it's more likely that Penguin will get the points. But we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that one is now active on Alfred. Nice, easy activation next. The Bat family, shall I say, elected to pass again, still trying to tease out the Penguin's plans and force them to do some actions. Well, the Penguin obliged by moving forward the Imperceptible Man. He didn't have Audacity, but he does have a radio, so he is inspired. He moved forward and popped down a suspect marker just here, and played Goods Raid. Nice and easy. 2 points, places a friendly suspect, and the Penguin crew does have 3 more suspect markers in play than the Bat family. So there you go, 2 points in the bag for the Penguin. Well, after that, Alfred decided he needed to take matters into his own hands. He moved up to here. He has a he was inspired by Batman because he has a radio. Yes, he does. Suddenly had a panic attack and he didn't think he did. He popped down a suspect marker and picked this Clayface marker up. So there we are, and in doing so, and then play another copy of Comb Through Everything. This card goes great guns, I tell you. 2 points and easy peasy lemon squeezy as well. So there you go. That's it's a 2 suspect marker swing. So that's certainly dealt with the deficiency a little bit. We'll see how that goes. Well, the Street Demons biker activated next. He moved up. He has Audacity and was inspired by Penguin, so he was able to both pick up Alfred's suspect marker and put down another suspect of the Penguin's own, easily allowing the second copy of Goods Raid to be scored for 2 points as an objective. Nice. That also damages Alfred a little bit because he takes damage as suspects are picked up from his side. Putting down the suspect marker though for the Penguin meant that Nightwing has revealed himself. He's leapt down from the top of this city with a cocky smile and an even cockier catchphrase, one-liner, whatever. Imagine it as you will. I'm not sufficiently witty as he is. Yes, and he's jumped down to join the fray, giving innovating level 1 to both of these 2 Penguin henchmen, as you can see, due to his Audacity. And that basically concludes this activation. We've gone with Nightwing. we've gone with Nightwing, and he's activated. And right, so first of all, we played Cyber Attack from the hand for the objective card. Pick 2 enemy suspects, and there's a counter on them. It's this one over here and this one over here. If these two are both in play at the end of that countdown, it goes down 1 at the end of each subsequent model's activation. Then the 2 lovely points will be scored for the Bat family. Could play that in the opponent's turn, but the cards were really not there, so just trying to cycle the deck a bit. Right, so he activated, he was down here, he popped down a suspect marker with his Vigilante's work rule, giving him a free manipulate action at the cost of 1 effort, and because it's within 4 inches of an enemy, that goes towards his great performance card. He then ran up here with his various acrobatic skills and absolutely knocked out the poor chap, the assault rifle henchman down here. He is deadly, he is properly KO'd, and well, there was no two ways about it really, because he is the threat. He's got a silencer, so he could actually just kill Nightwing in 1 round of shooting if it was lucky. So yeah, definitely not one to leave around. Then Nightwing used his special action, because he does have audacity of course, to arrest the guy, because I gave him handcuffs from purchasable equipment. So yes, lovely handcuffs take him out of the game altogether. So there you have it, gentlemen. Whew. Right, that concludes Nightwing's activation. He has now yes, knocked out someone. He's put down a suspect marker within 4 inches of an enemy, so now he just needs to survive the end of the game to score those 4 victory points from his objective card. Let's see if he can manage. Well, the Street Demons 4 big biker dude activated next, and he had a lot to say. He liked that assault gunner guy, that was his friend, so he moved up the ladder and attacked Nightwing in close combat. He put maximum effort in. Don't forget he was enervated, so he only put 2 hit points in. There's his 2 points. All was said and done though. Well, he got 2 hits through with his big axe. That's 4 points of blood on on Nightwing, which is oh, that's a nasty hit. So Nightwing's it's always what I do. Nightwing always never seems to last too long with me. He gets in and gets hurt, but hey, yeah. So there you go, and yeah, so that's pretty nasty. From the Penguin's hand, My House, My Rules was played. Target an enemy model within 8 inches of your boss. So they went with Nightwing again, getting some special attention. This young lad, I tell you. So yes, there's the text of the card. Every time. The more Nightwing does during the course of the game, the more points will go towards this card, and he might score 3 points or not. If he doesn't, then Nightwing hasn't done an awful lot at all, which is also in Penguin's favour, so that's alright, isn't it? Okay, that's that for the Penguin's activation. We're going to go back now to the Bat family. And finally, for the Bat family, Damian Wayne activated. He was over here. He activated his Bat Claw for this turn to zip all the way over here into base contact with the Street Demons biker, who, upon realising Robin was about to hit him with his katanas, he used his fast ability, because I just remembered it existed, to move back here. Yes, the fast ability, much like Harley Quinn's bikers. Actually, that's a little bit far. It should be about there. Sorry. Yeah. Yes. So that got him out of harm's way. Robin consoled himself by throwing batarangs at the biker, doing 2 hits and 4 points of stun damage. No small amount, not the KO that we were hoping for though. He then, because he was inspired, he popped down a suspect marker here, allowing the Bat family to score under their noses. A friendly model places a suspect within 4 inches of an enemy suspect for 2 points. So there you go, still scoring those lovely points. Okay, so that's the Bat family done. Let's finish off the Penguin crew. Yes, and finally for the turn we've gone with Mr. Combustible. He has audacity and he's back here, but not an awful lot he can do. He gave take cover to this chap over here to give him an extra defense marker for future reference. He might not need it. He then used a manipulate action, born of being inspired by Penguin, to zip through this sewer marker here. He then put down a suspect marker, which you can see poking out behind him just there. Okay, no cards to actually score for him, unfortunately. There's literally nothing in the Penguin's hand which plays in this phase, unfortunately. So that is basically him done. But yes, he's got an eye on some of the ongoing cards. So yeah, he's helping to score those. And yeah, with that, we're going to go to the recount phase, because I think we are done. See you in just a second. We'll recount and see what's happening. Recount phase done for round number 1. Okay, lots of cards scored, but not exactly necessarily where you'd expect it to. But Die Hard scores for the Batman crew for 2 points. Alfred is still very much taking notes on the game from the Batcave. But for the Penguin, they got an avalanche of points. First of all, they scored Stick to the Plan. They have more suspects on the board than the Bat family, who's very likely given the fact that they have Clayface dishing them out all over the place. Right, so to start, Profitable Negotiation definitely scored because the Bat family didn't manage to score I Work Best alone, so 2 points for them. And both Territory Fight and Profitable Goods, and Smuggled Goods, played at the beginning of the turn, both score. The Penguin crew owns one part of the board, this one here, and the Bat family don't own any, so they score. In terms of quadrants, the Penguins gets that 3 points. And Smuggled Goods, well, the marker is there, which is just closer to the Penguin crew's deployment zone than the Bat families, and that's all they need, so they get another massive amount of points. So 10 points scored for the Penguin there and 2 for the Bat family, but the Bat family have been scoring throughout the turn, so it might all just make a bit of a difference there. That's the difference between the way the two crews score. And of course the Bat family they're at close range now, where they can start to twist the knife in terms of these soft, squishy Penguin types. We'll see, won't we, if Penguin can build up enough of a lead to mitigate that or not. Right, that's enough of this. I'm going to go on to round number 2 now. Every model's taken off a point of stun damage where they can, and like I said, round number 2. Into round 2, like I said, plenty to recount now. We've just done the take the lead and raise the plan phases. The Bat family won the initiative roll quite easily because they'd saved 2 passes from last turn, so that gave them a bit of a leg up, shall we say, on the initiative roll. They're still in the take the lead phase. Die Hard was played by the Penguin crew this time, as we saw for the Bat family. Same rules, they couldn't choose Penguin, so they went with the most survivable member of their crew, Clayface. Very difficult to keep that guy down, so hopefully that will score the 2 points for them. In the second phase, raise the plan, let's just show you quickly who got Audacity. Actually no, first of all let's go through the cards. There were lots of cards played. The Penguin crew have a lot of cards that get played during these first 2 phases with the current deck build up I've got, so well done me. We got Territory Fight once again, we saw that last time, so there we are. Smuggled Goods once again, same writing. These Smuggled Goods were actually put down over here this time, so we'll see if they can nurse that back towards their deployment zone. And this time Secret Equipment Bases, we haven't seen that one. It's a 2-pointer that will score at another one that scores at the end of the round and the recount phase if they meet it. Target 2 scenery elements which are distance away, basically in the middle of the board along the centre line, and the Penguin player crew has to have more suspects within 4 inches of each scenery element than the enemy. So we're going with Two Faces car being one of them, and the seesaw over here being the other, both of which currently have more Penguin suspects nearby, so that's a good thing for the Penguin anyway. But and finally, the best act, Clayface's proprietary card, which is kind of a fun one. This is in beta, don't forget, so it's very shonkily written, but I think I've translated it well enough. Right, basically, you play it now, you score at the end of the turn in the recount phase. What we do is we pick up a model which has been killed or been removed as a casualty, so the arrested assault rifle thug here, and we swap him with Clayface. Whoop. So Clayface is off the board for the purposes of this turn. Okay, this guy has now replaced him. Well, it's Clayface in disguise, obviously. And so this, and he'll morph back into Clayface should this guy be taken out, either KO'd or removed as a casualty, I think. Let's see. If he's removed from play. So if he's KO'd, he stays around, but if he's removed from play, he morphs back into being Clayface. There you go. But otherwise, he plays as the previous guy. If he remains in this form at the end of the recount phase, Clayface will score the 2 points for Penguin's crew. That's a condition. So Clayface merges into obviously a weaker form, but gets 2 points for it. I think it's quite fun. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, it's a beta card anyway. So there we are. So open to change or just being taken out altogether, but I like it. That, I think, is that now. So huge amount of scoring potential for the Penguin just unveiled, but that's how their deck works in this particular iteration. So we're going to see how the actual moves of the game pan out now as we go to execute the plan. Almost forgot to mention who got Audacity. Sorry, everyone in the Bat family did, of course. The biker here for Penguin, along with, well, the other Street Demons biker, less lacking bike, but with big axe and shield. Penguin took one himself as well, and also the newly arrived assault rifle man, stroke Clayface in disguise. So there you are. That's who got it. And now we moved on. Like I said, Bat family had the first activation. They went with Robin. He moved up and KO'd the biker, finished off his work from last turn quite easily in his stride, so that annoyingly takes out a useful Audacity counter from the Penguin this turn. Don't forget, Robin had Audacity, so he moved up, he used his tactical action to hit him. Now he's using his special action with the handcuffs purchased as part of his purchasable war gear to arrest the Street Demon. Okay, so take him off as a casualty. That means get them off the streets. Does activate now. Does score. Played from the hand of the Bat family. Arrest a model. Lovely jubbly. Love that card. It's so characterful, I find. And 3 points. Very nice. Audacity counted down, and also cyber attack has counted down to 0. Here and here. That's the card played by the Bat family last turn. That scores them 2 points because those 2 suspect markers are there. So that's a 5-point swing for the 5 points for the Bat family, shall I say, in their favour. So that's pretty good, and a model down for Penguin. So that's pretty rocking, if you ask me. Let's see what the Penguin's going to say about that. Well, I mean, what the Penguin said was whack whack, really, but what he meant had an altogether more sinister intent. He activated next, and boy, this is an activation about as eventful as you can get in this game, and it's pretty eventful. Right, first of all, he had Audacity, so his full suite of moves. Okay, he first of all he waddled his way over the fence, or smashed through it with his duck, more likely, just to bring a few more models into his inspiration radius. Let's see what else he did. Yes, I'm trying to get the right order, you see, guys. That's the important thing. He then used his mobster rule on the newly arrived, Clayface faking assault rifle guy, who still had all his ammunition and his equipment, I presume. It doesn't say that they come back without any equipment or anything, so he's mimicking him exactly. So he ordered this guy to open fire, and open fire he did on Nightwing. Nightwing is beyond the veil of darkness, so 2 dice were lost on the dice pool, but that was it. It's still in technical range of the weapon. He's still he's not. I could see no cover between here and Nightwing, so 2 dice were rolled and both hit. And this is an assault rifle, so that did 6 points of blood damage, which kills Nightwing, or takes him out of the game as a casualty. He's not dead, of course. It's comics. He's not dead, but that's hardcore. That's nasty. And don't forget, the silencer meant that Nightwing couldn't use his dodge ability, which would normally see him through this quite easily. But there's a reason why that silencer is 400 of your hard-earned dollars, but really cool. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So yes, that's that, but the turn does not end there. Spending 2 business counters, he was able to use the the resource text of the confusion card as one of his cards at the beginning of the game. So during a friendly model's activation, you can move another friendly model up to 3 inches. Just to let you know, he did that. He moved the imperceptible man up to the secret, to the smuggled goods for future use. And right, what else? Oh yes, he then played Profitable Negotiation as an objective card from the hand. We saw that last turn. It will score at the end of turn if a certain card of the Bat families does not come out, and the card that in the Bat family's hand which he picked was Get Them Off the Streets, so the one that was just scored. There's nothing left in the Bat family crew now that Nightwing's gone, that can arrest, so it's going to be very hard to stop that one coming off. But so yes, there you go. And this isn't even using all of Penguin's actions, because he's the handyman trait. He can still do stuff. Oh, he put down a suspect marker, of course, just to get some more near this seesaw. So there you go. And yeah, that's a pretty full turn for the Penguin, and really, really important one. I mean, the Bat family can't afford to lose models, especially ones like Nightwing. Realising the time for drastic action is now, Batman swept into the fray and into base contact with both of these guys. He has, don't forget, he has audacity, so he can do just about, well, he can move and then punch basically. And he split his attacks between the two, and long story short, after quite some effort, he was able to knock both of them out with some pretty good die rolls, although he is close combat master Batman, so yeah. Re-rolling misses, he's difficult to block and all that hoo-ha, so yeah, it was quite touch and go though, because they did put some good defences up, but no, they're gone, and then Batman was going to play dirty job for a solitary singular point, just to make an enemy model suffer KO or move as a casualty, where he KO'd both of them. Sadly, he hasn't got handcuffs, so he can't arrest anybody, but that'll do for now, pig, that'll do. It does actually have some ramifications for the rest of the turn, obviously not just the 1 point he's scored, because Two-Face needed Die Hard to score, and all of that hoopla, you know, being KO does make that rather difficult, etc. So, and it may well affect the territory fight card that Penguin plays, so yeah, bigger ramifications beyond just the singular point. Okay. And of course, in all the fun, there was one thing I forgot to mention, that Batman, after doing his punchy, he did his special action, I am a symbol, to cause this Damian Wayne Robin model to move 4 inches and place a suspect down here to really contest the Two-Face car part of Penguin's objective card. Right, then we went on to the Imperceptible Man, which is what this take is all about. He activated up here, he didn't have audacity, but he does have a radio, so he's inspired. He manipulated the smuggled goods to zoom down here. Penguin currently toting the maximum 6 business counters, so it is well and truly closer to the Penguin's deployment zone. He then moved down to here into base contact with this suspect marker. That would have finished his turn. He did try to play as a objective card, This Is Mine. Yep, for 2 in order to swap this for a Penguin suspect marker. However, unfortunately for him, the Bat family has Get Them Off the Streets as a resource to cancel it out. So there you go. Both sides using 2 of their 3 resource points now. Okay, so there we go. And that concludes the Imperceptible Man's activation. It's going to be back to the Bat family. Alfred finishing things up for the Bat family from the Bat Cave. He was over here, he just hopped across the fence, it was impaired movement, so that finished his go off. He's picking up this hot loot. So at least that's one of them accounted for. It's on Alfred now. Somehow he's obviously some little drone or something's just boofing it away. He then popped down a suspect marker. It's within 4 inches of that one that Penguin put down, allowing him to play under their noses for 2 nice simple points. Okay, so there we are, and yeah, 2 easy points, and that concludes his activation. Not much else for him to do. We'll just so it's the rest of the Penguin models. The big street demons axe wielding biker went next. Forgive me for the rather higgledy-piggledy nature of my miniatures. This I didn't really build the playground with this much activity in mind, to be perfectly honest. That's my fault really. He activated, he had audacity, he was also inspired, not that it made much difference in this situation. He hopped down from here, went to the sewer marker, manipulated it to end up in the middle here, okay, and then played as from the Penguin's what's it called, set of special cards he can use. They Must Know Pain as a resource for 1 business counter, you can see there, and he used it to recover from KO the assault rifle, aka Clayface guy, so he's only knocked down now. Okay, so he's recovered from KO and still has his audacity counter, so there we are, and that basically concluded his activation. Okay, no objective cards scored, but this guy does get a go now, so I'm going to see what I can do with it. Yeah, and eking some points out even the last. Okay, so this Clayface, shall we say, stood up, dusted himself off, and hobbled over to the fence 4 inches. He then put down a suspect marker, and as a resource played. Oh, let me reach and get it. Sorry, for the last resource point the Penguin has, secret equipment bases, When a friendly model places a suspect, place it within 4 instead, and he popped it down here. Okay, and because it's within, that is now within the Bat family's deployment zone, This Is Mine was eligible to be played from the hand. It's a 2-pointer objective card. Friendly model deploys a suspect in an enemy deployment zone. There are more friendly suspects than enemy suspects in the gaming area. Well, there are well more. There are 7 penguin suspects out if you count the Clayface one. So, yes, easily more than the Bat family can help to manage at this point. So, there you go. There's the last 2-pointer squeak there for the crew. Going to go to the recount phase now and tidy up. Okay, another fairly eventful recount phase. So first of all, the Mr. Combustible is remaining KO'd for round number 3. Don't blame him. Batman's over him. I wouldn't want to wake up either. Next. Right, first of all, who scored? Let's see, there's a whole bunch of cards. Easy for the Bat family. Alfred actually did nominate this card as a 1 there on the numerical value, because he does have I Work Best Alone. And I rolled a 1 because, of course I rolled a 1. I rolled a 1, yes. So 2 victory points for the Bat family. There's their nugget of good news. So we can take that off now. Don't need that 1 there anymore. Right, so the huge host of cards for the Penguin crew. Let's start with the easy ones. First of all, from the hand, they play Stick to the Plan once again. Nice penguin-y score there, even though it's a generic card. They easily scored that for 2 points. Smuggled Goods is another easy win for the Penguin, because there's the Smuggled Goods now, much closer to this to their board edge than not. Territory Fight at the end of it, that did also score for Penguin for another 3 points. They have more quadrants of the board than the Batman crew lockdown, because they have more numbers and they keep getting back up again. And finally, Profitable Negotiation does score, because after they played it, the Bat family did not manage to score, get them off the streets again. So a nice cool 10 points there for the Penguin crew. For the other part of them, they also scored, forgot, it's 12 points, because the best act did score for Clayface, because he is despite disappearing and reappearing as someone else, he remained on the board, did not get removed from play, and so I've interpreted that as him slorping back into existence now, but I've carried over the accrued damage on him from the assault rifle guy, just a couple of stun points, so nothing to crybaby about. For things they didn't score, they did not score secret equipment bases. Unfortunately, they were just the Clayface, Two Faces car did not have more penguin suspect markers near to it than Bat family ones, so they didn't get that one. But they didn't score Die Hard either, by my count. You could argue that they would have done. Clayface is obviously on the board and he's not currently KO'd, but during the course of the turn, the model he was represented by did get KO'd, so I figured that's not very die-hardy, to be honest. That's not a very tough thing to do, to have to be resurrected by one of your colleagues. So I've counted that one as not scoring for now. I know it's probably could be argued that it would, but just for me, just from my interpretation, it didn't. And Penguin has scored an avalanche of points this turn anyway. So hope you all don't mind, but happy to be FAQ'd. Okay, right. We're gonna go on now to round number 3. Can't believe it's round 3 and both sides are looking so damaged. Into round 3, and the first set of first 2 phases, shall I say, are complete. So Take the Lead happened, and the Bat family easily won the initiative once again with their plus lots for having lots of passes left over. Don't really use them mid game, to be perfectly honest, that much, because you're in it by then, really. For the second phase, Raise the Plan, the Penguin played Smuggled Goods once again. We've seen that already twice, and they're being put there now, right in the middle of the scrum, with lots more Penguin models fighting. But that was it for phase 1 and 2 cards for Penguin this turn. They didn't all come up in their hands, so probably be drawing them throughout the course of the third phase when you can't play them. But that's the rub, that's the risk you take, and that's how some of the decks are balanced against each other. Right, so moving on, who's got Audacity? So, every model that's conscious on the board has Audacity. So all the Bat family members, Robin there, Penguin, Alfred, and Batman, and Penguin, his big biker with axe, Clayface himself, and the Imperceptible Man. Don't forget, Mr. Combustible is still KO'd, so not joining us this time. Right, well, let's get on, do some activations. Not a huge numerical advantage by now for the Bat family, so we'll see if they can start to screw this back a little bit. Okay, well, we started with the Batman once again taking the action he needed to take because things are getting a bit hairy. He has audacity. First of all, he moved into base contact with the Penguin. He played They Won't See Me Coming as a resource again to give himself that extra manipulate action, and he picked up the last of the Clayface suspect markers back there just to make sure that to basically make the big guy vulnerable, a little bit more vulnerable, and in doing so, to play comb through everything as a objective for 2 points. Lovely jubbly for them. And then he laid into Penguin. Penguin put in maximum effort to block. Batman matched that, and after all the dice were rolled, let's not forget Penguin's umbrella is protective, so it gave him +1 to block. He has light armor, so and he's huge whilst on that Penguin, so he only takes only 2 points of stun got through. 2 hits. The light armor, no, the huge took off 2 points of that, thank goodness, because that would leave Penguin on 5 points of stun in total, which means that he is not KO'd. Because I forgot the Penguin, the duck itself, actually only absorbs blood endurance damage, not the stun willpower damage. So Penguin's getting pretty close actually to being KO'd. We don't want that. We really don't want that, but it didn't happen. The onslaught from Batman was not sufficient to do it, but nonetheless, a couple of points, and Clayface is looking more vulnerable now as well. So let's carry on. Well, simple act of necessity. Clayface activated next. He got his free manipulate action to pop down a new Clayface suspect marker. You can see his head poking through the floor just there. I then picked up his audacity marker, because that's what I should have done. He then moved down here, and with audacity he attacked the Batman. He's put himself within bodyguarding range of the Penguin as well. As you can see, he put maximum effort in. Batman did not effort himself because he's carrying quite a bit of stun damage already from previous efforts he's made, and he paid the price because Clayface, because he's adaptable, he put his point of adaptability into attack this round. He got plenty of dice, had lots of all together, rolled really well. Didn't need the reroll as such, but got 4 hits through on Batman, causing 4 points of stun, 4 points of blood, and KOing the Dark Knight this time. So that was a bit of a surprise. Batman really flubbed his defense rolls. Only blocked 1 of the incoming hits. So not good at all. So that KOs Batman. Oof. No cards scored, but that's a bit of a hit because Batman's very vulnerable at the moment, and he's in the middle of the Penguin crew. Just couldn't do it. I couldn't get Damian Wayne back to save his father, really. So I'm just going with what can score. And so he moved up, and the Imperceptible Man felt the wrath of Damian's frustration there as he took a pounding and got KO'd, despite his being the Invisible Man effectively and getting freebie efforts because he hasn't attacked anyone yet. Robin put a couple of efforts in his own to even that up, and the combo Katana's rule just did the trick, KO'd this guy, and then Damian's going to arrest him with his special action. So there we are, and that of course enables him to get them off the streets for 3 points. So still plugging away the Bat family, but we'll see. And it was another point of audacity off of the board for Penguin this turn, so that could be a big scoring hit there. We're gonna see how it goes. Penguin, not one to let a sleeping bat lie. He activated, first of all, he had audacity, as you remember. He used his special action to ask the axe guy to kindly come over and start smacking Batman around, doing 4 points of blood damage. Don't forget, Batman can't defend himself when you're KO'd. You can't do that. Then Penguin put the coup de grace in, causing 1 further hit with his umbrella, 2 more points of blood, 6 altogether this round. Batman is out as far as this game is concerned as a casualty. Oof. Penguin then moved up and used his freebie manipulate action because he's got the handyman rule to manipulate the smuggled goods over here, and yes, that's that. No cards played again from the hand, but he's helping in many other ways. The 2 most powerful models on the Bat family easily are now down and out. The Bat family are refusing to go down without a fight though, as Alfred moves in and pops down a suspect marker there within 4 inches of the Penguin marker just next to him, so scoring under their noses yet again for the Bat family, still plugging out, grinding out those points. Yes, so we'll move on now, see what happens next in the Penguins' final activations of the turn. The Street Demon 4 is the last act model to go, and he had a nice easy one. He was over here, he was inspired, so he was able to move himself to the sewer marker, pop himself through it, and pop down a suspect marker. Nice and easy. That's in the Bat family's deployment zone. This is mine, comes out once again for 2 points. There's the text, and there's easily more suspect markers for the Penguin crew than there is for the Bat family. Right, going to go to the recount phase now for round number 3. Recount phase for turn 3 just done now, and not as much to recount as before, but still some. Mr. Combustible is still out, so he's out for the rest of the game. Obviously, yes, it was a good pounding he got from the recently gone Batman. Right, who scored what? Well, no cards scored for the Bat family. They don't really have that kind of ticking clock type one. Smuggled goods does score though for the Penguin, because here are the smuggled goods, way closer to the Bat family's edge than not. And to the Penguin's edge than not, should I say. And once again, stick to the plan scores for 2 points for them. They've still got an ascendancy of cards of suspect markers in play, so there we are. That's it. Every model's taken off a point of stun where applicable, and we're going to move into the final phase. Both sides can eke out some last minute points. Okay, the last rounds, first 2 phases are now done. Well, everyone gets Audacity. The Bat family has the initiative again because of the number of passes they have left over. Right, in terms of who played which cards, none for the Bat family, but Secret Equipment Bases and Territory Fight have come out once again for the Penguin. For Secret Equipment Bases, we're going with the same 2 pieces of scenery we did before. This here... Seesaw, and yes, the Two Faces car were very, very important pieces of scenery, I'm sure you'll agree. Okay, every model on the board has Audacity, because both sides have run out of models to give all 4 of them to, and we're going to get on with the last set of activations for the game. Not much really probably going to happen too much, but let's see. Okay, well, we started with Damian Wayne. He used his grapple gun and easily got into contact range with Penguin, who has moved too far away from his bodyguard because I'm an idiot and forgot, and was able to easily KO the crime lord, doing 6 points of stun damage after all was said and done, and yeah, that takes him out of the count and puts him KO'd, which, handy enough, means back to Arkham can score for the Bat family. 3 points, make the opponent's boss KO or moves its casualty, so there we are. Don't need to arrest him. Couldn't have arrested him anyway because he used his grapple gun, but yeah, pretty handy thing there to do. Okay, that's Robin done. Let's move back to the Penguin. In an attempt to win the territory fight, Clayface moved to here and used his mud form attack, range 6 to attack Damian Wayne, put 2 effort in, so did the Boy Wonder, but was not good enough. Only 1 hit got through, and that was the critical hit on a 6, so knocked down the Boy Wonder, but yes, the Boy Wonder is not KO'd, nor is he dead, so, well, you know, KO'd as a casualty, shall we say. And yeah, that's that then, so no scores for Clayface on that one. Didn't contribute to, he was really desperately trying to get the territory fight card to score as well, but not this time. Over to the Bat family. Alfred rounded things off for the Bat family. He was over here. He snuck around behind the tree, put down a suspect marker, both out of sight of the big monster Clayface, allowing them to play Black Ops from the hand for 2 points. Yep, there you go. Easy peasy score, more or less. Not much that blocks line of sight in the middle of the board, so I let the tree count out of mercy. 2 points for the Bat family there, and we're just going to finish off with the last model's activation for the Penguin crew. Well, the last model was the newly promoted to boss Street Demon's biker thug, and he activated, he was up here and used the sewer marker, and then because he inspired himself, popped down another suspect marker so that they could outnumber the Bat family in terms of suspect markers around the Two-Face car. So let's go to the recount phase now and see if anyone's managed to get some last minute points. So when it comes to the recount phase in round number 4, shall I say, you really only need to look at who's scoring what, to be honest. So let's see, in terms of the Penguin crew, territory fight does not work out for them, unfortunately, this time. There's 2 models apiece, and that would not mean that, and yes, and models are spread out such that neither side can claim true ascendancy. However, secret equipment bases does score for the Penguin for 2 points. They have more suspect markers on the 2 named pieces of scenery this time, so that does count. In terms of longer game time scoring, the valuable commodities card played earlier does score for Penguin, because oh no, it does not. Haha, it does not score because Alfred has one and Penguin had the other, so that does not score for Penguin. What was I thinking? Silly me. But equally great performance does not score for the Bat family because Nightwing is not alive, so that's a bit of a knacker for them, really. Right, that's that. I'm going to go away, come back with the piles of cards that have scored for each side, and we'll do the final analysis. Right, I'm holding the 2 quite hefty decks of scores, so let's see who gets what. We'll start with Penguin, because he's the one I picked up first. We got 2, 4, 6, 9, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 23, 26, 28, 30, 32, 35, 37 points. That's quite the haul. 37. Yikes! They've still got some cards left to score, which they didn't. Big ones too. So there's a good high ceiling on the Penguin deck. Right. Well, let's see. Bat family though. 2, 4, 6. Excuse me. 6, 8. 11, 13, 14, 16, 18, 20, 23, 25, 28, 30 points. So 30 points for the Bat family, plays 37 for Penguin. That is a victory for the Crime Lord, which, yes, I thought it was going to be, but the Bat family did make it harder for them than I thought they would. And yeah, after the early loss, Nightwing was a big turning point for this game, I feel. I just didn't see that assault rifle man coming back to life. I didn't think how the cards would synergize and with the models, so that Clayface could morph into him and then shoot. that just played out in sort of like as it did in front of me, rather than me orchestrating it or something. I was like, oh, hello, this could happen, and it did, and woof, it wasn't. Yeah, so there's food for thought. New little tactics for this game come out all the time. We like Clayface. Even without his special cards, he's great fun to have. Just being able to put down suspect markers really helped, really synergised well with the Penguin. I'm sure it synergises with a bunch of other crews that rely on having suspect markers out and about and doing things, which is almost all of them, really. So yeah, we like him quite a lot. Penguin's a good bloke to have around. You just need to get your head around his specific rules when you're building your crew and whatnot, and you'll have, because he's not the most powerful individually. Yeah, if I could change the crew for the Penguin, I might try. Maybe I'd take him off the Duck and give him 1 or 2 extra guys, squishy albeit, but still, yeah, extra guys is good. But the Duck did technically keep him on the board a bit longer than he would have been if he hadn't. But with bodyguards, just got to keep an eye out. These swings and roundabouts. Never mind. Overall, the Bat family this Penguin crew is designed to beat up on, the deck just goes all out to punish people who are outnumbered by you, and the Bat family was always going to be on the sharp end of that, but they fought back quite hard. It's so difficult to play with 4 models sometimes, but I really enjoy the way this crew works. I really, really do. Yeah, the Bat family, that is. So yeah, we'll see how it. That's the you play what you enjoy, don't you? Right. One last thing, I'd like to see how this Penguin crew does against the Court of Owls. Yeah, might try that in the future, because the Murder Blenders versus Clayface would be quite interesting. Anyway. Enough from me. I hope that you all enjoyed watching this video, and will join me for future ones as well. There's plenty more going on. Got Deacon Blackfire all painted up, but just a bit scared by the size of the crew. So we'll have to see how that goes. Yeah, my name's Shieldwall100. I'll see you next time, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Ta-da for now.